Today I'm going to show you step by step how to do this drawing illusion. This exact drawing went viral on TikTok, Instagram, and more than once. A lot of people thought they were looking at a real canvas and asked, how did you do that? In this video, I'll share with you all the tips and tricks that helped me pull off one of the most effective drawing illusions. So these are the tools we'll be using. Strathmore watercolor paper, 400 series cold press, size 5.5 by 8.5, 140 pounds. The main reason we're using this paper is because it has a texture similar to a canvas and because it can handle mixed media and multiple layers. A pencil sharpener, a blank canvas, scratch paper to test out colors, clean marker tips, and unclog white gel pens, which happens way too often, a ruler, these Ohuhu markers,
it's always markers,
or markers that you have similar in color, black, gray, and brown Prismacolor erasable colored pencils, an eraser, I'm using a kneaded eraser, a white colored pencil, a black pencil, a blending pencil, a metallic silver colored pencil, and a white gel pen. Lighting is important to drawing realistically. I'm using a ring light and I want to create a shadow here and here. Let's see if it works.
Hey, the canvas is blank.
All right, so this is where we're headed. We are going to build a foundation of our drawing. And the most important part of building the foundation of your drawing is proportions.
I'm guessing that is a clue of massive proportions.
If you get the proportions off, your whole drawing will be off. So we're gonna slow down, take the time to make sure the proportions are right. I measured the wood frame and it comes out to 1 inch. So with your ruler and your gray erasable colored pencil, we are going to put a 1 inch border around the whole drawing. There's two main reasons why I use erasable colored pencils. One, they blend into the markers we're going to use a lot better than graphite. And two, knowing that you can erase it just kind of puts you at ease. And we always make better art when we're at ease.
That's why they put erasers on pencils.
Make sure you're pushing lightly as you make these lines. That way we can erase them or color over them later. So I measured the shadows and they are a little bit over 1/2 inch. A see-through ruler like this really helps me to get my lines straight. Now we're going to draw in how the canvas overlaps the wood frame. And notice how it's not a perfectly straight line. And whenever there's not a perfectly straight line, I always like to just use my hand because my hand is naturally not going to be perfectly straight. So I'm not going to speed this up because I want you to see what it looks like in real time. I'm making important marks on the right side where the canvas overlaps, and then I'm going to go to the left side and make important marks there, and that way it kind of gives me a roadmap of where this line needs to go. And I don't need a ruler because it's not perfectly straight. Where does the canvas underneath the top canvas come down? Here, here, or here? So notice that it's overlapping a little bit over halfway, but on the other side it's overlapping almost down the middle. This tells us that we don't have to get it perfectly right. We can be a little bit off and it will still look very realistic. Once again, notice I'm mapping out where the lines start so then I can attach them. This is way better than just blindly going from one side to the other, hoping you kind of land where you're supposed to. Now I'm going over that same line, but darker because now I'm more confident in it. We can erase any overlapping lines that are unnecessary now. I love using the kneaded eraser. Now we'll do the bottom overlapping canvas. We're going to pay attention to this corner and where the canvas starts to overlap. Once again, I want to show you this in real time so you see the decisions I'm making. Right, there's that corner. It's where it overlaps. Now I'm doing the exact same thing on the other side. I'm finding where it starts to overlap and where that corner is. And that is going to give me the crucial points I need to map out the line. I got the starting points now. And I don't need a ruler because it's not a straight line. This diagonal line doesn't match up to this corner, but to this corner. I point that out because I do a good job of putting this diagonal line here. But on the other side, if you look closely, I actually do a pretty terrible job. And the reason why I'm pointing this out and not trying to cover it up is because I've learned that mistakes are your friends. They will help you grow. So this drawing is not perfect and that's okay. I learned from it. And what I would love to teach you more than anything is that mistakes are not bad. And great artists make mistakes all the time. The goal is not perfection, but progress.
Nobody's perfect, and that's why pencils have erasers.
By now, you've probably noticed that our reference is a different size than our paper. So what do? Do we put the 4 staples on the top and bottom like our reference and the 5 staples on the sides? Or do we adjust? All right, we're gonna adjust. We're gonna put 3 staples on the top and bottom and 4 staples on the left and the right.
Obsessed with staples.
Like this. By learning the principles I'm teaching in this course, you will be able to make changes and choices like this as you make your own drawings. So I measured the staples and they are about 1/2 inch. So now I'm just going to try to space them out fairly even. I notice looking at the reference that the staples aren't perfectly straight and perfectly even, which is nice because it gives us some grace room. We can kind of, put them in different places and it will still look very realistic. Well, there you have it, guys. We have the foundation of our drawing.
Those proportions are correct.
If you made it this far, well done. I believe this was actually the hardest part. So next we're going to color the canvas that wraps around the wood. With Ohuhu's Cool Gray 00 or a marker that's similar to this color, we will color in the top flap of this canvas. To get those darker areas on the canvas, we'll end up doing 2 or 3 layers of marker. So as I got close to the staples, there was this choice I had to make. Do I just color over the staples and then put in the details later, or do I leave a rectangle space that's just blank? And I chose to leave a rectangle space that's blank because I really wanted the highlight of the staples to be as white as possible. But looking back, I would actually probably just color in the flap of the canvas and color over the staple part and rely heavily on my white gel pen to put in the highlight marks.
Now, please try to not shift your body position too aggressively because I don't want to have to go back in there and redo those staples.
Since the light source is right here, the very edge on the right side of the canvas will be left completely white. And then the edge on the left side of our canvas will be darker. So if you look closely, you can tell I'm not coloring in the very edge, which is going to give that illusion that light is hitting the edge of the canvas. Now with our gray erasable colored pencil, we are going to darken the edge of the canvas. Putting a layer of marker over the colored pencil helps it to blend in, and I do this 2 times. Using the same gray colored pencil, we will add more shadows to the canvas. With our black erasable colored pencil, we will darken the shadows.
Can a robot turn a canvas into a beautiful masterpiece?
We will add in the shadows here and here, giving the illusion that there's a crease in the canvas.
Could you make something humble for me? In canvas, maybe? To fool Jack's friends?
Next, we'll put in the staples. But first, I want to talk about the next drawing principle. We've already talked about proportions are the foundation of the drawing, but now I want to talk about patterns. Patterns speed up the process and create realistic consistency. Patterns could be formed by size, shapes, textures, colors, and in this case, lighting. All these staples on the bottom of the canvas have a pattern. They all have a highlight on the right side of the staple. And there's a pattern with the staples on the left side of the canvas. They barely even have any highlights. Do you see any patterns on the staples on top of the canvas? They all have highlights on the right side and shadows on the left. And what about the staples on the right? They all have highlights on top of the staples and shadows on the bottom. To create the staples, we'll be using our gray and black colored pencils and metallic colored pencil every once in a while. And for the highlights, we'll be using our white gel pen.
Food truck. It's a blank canvas for your dreams.
I paint a canvas every week. Take one look at it and then slash it with a razor.
How do I subscribe?
If you're looking for realistic tips and watercolor hacks and tutorials, subscribe. I want to point out that on this staple, I don't actually outline it. I just imply where it starts, and then I put another mark a little bit below it, and I don't even fill in the highlight part. Good work. Let's move on to the wood next. So next we got the wood. Let me introduce you to the third principle, which is colors and textures make the drawing believable. This is why I took the time to test out my markers to make sure I got the right colors. And we chose this paper because it already has a texture similar to the canvas. So now grab your Ohuhu E220 sand marker, or a marker that's similar in color, and color in the direction of the wood grain.
On a marker! No markers.
So you'll notice as I do the wood that I only use the ruler when I absolutely need a straight line. And I need a straight line around the inside edge of the wood. So that darker area on the top left wooden panel was left over from black marker on my ruler. We're gonna call this a happy little accident. So with our brown erasable colored pencil, we're going to freehand the wood grain for random deviations. Those little subtle variations in your hand will make it more believable. If we just put straight vertical lines, it would not look right. I am also using a very special technique. While I make these lines, I am randomly pushing more weight on the pencil and then lightly in other areas, and it's just random. So it's going to give this illusion of depth, of like crevices in the wood. It's very easy to do. You just randomly push harder in some areas and then lighter in others. And look, it's starting to look like wood already. To add the shadow of the canvas that's overlapping, we're going to continue to use this brown erasable colored pencil. Ever so slightly, light is hitting the little edge of this panel. So we'll put in the line with our black colored pencil, and as I make this line, notice how I'm pushing hard in some areas and very light in others. And it's giving that little bit of variety that adds to realism. And now with the white colored pencil, we'll add that highlight. With our brown erasable colored pencil, we will add a shadow to the very edge of the wood panel. The marker helps to blend the colored pencil in. Now we can darken the shadow of the canvas with our black colored pencil. When drawing realistically, it's very common to spot little areas that you can improve on or fix. So I'm adding a little bit of highlight to the wood and using the marker to blend things in a little bit more. So let's do the top wood panel. Question, where do we put the shadow? Now in realism, we don't get to just make it up. We look at our reference and it informs us that the shadow goes here. Light is hitting the edge of this panel, so that's why we're going to use our white colored pencil to add that little highlight on the edge. Alright, next is the inside of the canvas. You're almost done. So this is the last step, and it's probably the easiest step. This is principle number 4. Shadows make the drawing come to life. So we'll color this shadow and this shadow. But first we gotta color the inside of the canvas with our Ohuhu E228 Sand White, or a marker that's similar in color.
I see little more than just paint on canvas, of course.
Let's put in the shadows with our Ohuhu Cool Gray 04, or a marker that is similar in color. Let's soften the edge of the shadow with Ohuhu's Warm Gray 05, or a marker that's similar in color. Alright, it's time to add another sand white layer, and basically from here on out we are just going to keep adding layers until we're satisfied with our drawing.
Ryan, this is some canvas.
To make the shadow darker, I'm adding a layer of black erasable colored pencil and blending it with Ohuhu's Cool Gray 04.
One more take. Please stop saying don't forget to like and subscribe.
If you're looking for realistic tips and watercolor hacks and tutorials, subscribe. Since our light source is here, it's hitting our wood panel here and here. So we'll add those highlights with our white colored pencil. I wasn't happy with how white that highlight was, so I wanted to tone it down with marker, and that did the trick. We're just softening the edge of this shadow, and then we are going to call this drawing finished. Well done. Now you can share it on social media and make some pretty cool videos with this. Also, if you do make videos and you'd like me to see them, tag me. I'd love to support you. Make sure to like and subscribe for more art tutorials. And thanks for watching. Attack the blank page with amazing art.